President Trump has said that he's completely changing his speech at this convention. You've been to a few conventions.
Yeah, occasionally.
Is it about what? Let me think. Is it probably at least 10 conventions? Is that
Something
right?
like that. Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, I've been around a while. But I think he's doing the right thing. He's at a magic moment when even most of the people who are, the hardcore left is not ever going to be for Trump, and they shouldn't be. He doesn't fit their values. But there's a large block in the middle. My guess is the number of never-Trumper Republicans shrank by 50% in 2 days. If they just looked and said, you got to be for him. And I think that will give him. Lincoln used to say that with popular sentiment, anything is possible. Without popular sentiment, nothing is possible. And I think that Trump is in a position now, potentially, to have a very large majority of the American people on his side. And with that, to have the Congress on his side, because in the end, the Congress, by definition, has to follow the will of the people or they get fired.
And if you were to, you probably might be giving him advice as to how he captures this moment to unite the country in his speech and his messaging, what would you tell him?
Well, look, I think as a historian, the message is very simple. He has now become a historic figure. And in a way, he has to let himself grow into that. He was a candidate, he was a champion for half the country, but it's very different if you're Charles de Gaulle or Dwight Eisenhower or Abraham Lincoln or George Washington. To be at the level Trump is on the edge of, he has to grow into being that person. I think so far, the first couple of days, he's lived that out perfectly. I mean, he's got to be a person who reaches out and says, you may or may not agree with everything, but can we find a way to work together? He has to find a way to say to the world, our goal is not American dominance, but it is the end of violence, and it is the end of countries invading each other, and can't we find a way to work together? And I think that's a totally legitimate, it's not I'm anti-Putin, I'm pro-peace. Yes. And we'll see whether or not that continues. But so far I can tell you, everything I've heard from his senior staff, everything I've seen in the media, I think Trump thinks that it was providential.